This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Welcome in. Hope you're having a great start to your Monday. I'm Rebecca Smith.
And I'm Bill Bryant. Hope you enjoyed that weekend. It was a hot one for sure, and we're glad you're with us. We have a lot going on this morning.
There is a lot in the news now. At 6 a.m., Kentucky's Commissioner of Agriculture will be in Lexington today, giving us all advice on how we can avoid becoming the victim of a credit card skimmer.
This has been a problem lately. Also, police say a central Kentucky man is now behind bars following a late-night shooting in Anderson County.
And police are searching for an armed suspect involved in an overnight robbery at a Lexington business.
And we're going to be tracking a little bit of change out there today. Will trigger a few showers and thunderstorms, but what we get today will mean some nice stuff as we head into the middle of the week. I'll track it hour by hour coming up, guys.
And let's get right to the news on your Monday.
Well, Kentucky's Agriculture Commissioner making stops around the Bluegrass today to pass along some very important advice for all of us when we were visiting the gas pump.
Commissioner Ryan Quarles, along with local police officers, will demonstrate steps being taken against credit card skimmers. He will also offer some ways that you can avoid being victimized. WKYT's Mark Barber is live in Lexington with the details on that. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Lexington police are seeing more and more of these tricky credit card scammers popping up inside gas pumps. That's why the state's agriculture commissioner and pump inspectors are going to be giving their advice on what gas stations and customers need to start looking out for later this morning. Now, here's how this usually happens. A thief will pop open a panel on a gas pump, and they will then insert a device that can copy and steal information from your credit card every time it is swiped at the pump. Now, some of the skimmers store data from as many as 500 credit cards before that device is full. Since Lexington police have seen a spike in the number of these concerning cases recently, authorities are meeting at the Minute Mark gas station off of I-75 and Ironworks Pike today. They will be walking through the steps that gas stations can take to check for skimmers. They will also talk about their customers and how they can protect their financial information. Now, that starts at 10:30 this morning, but in case you can't wait that long, coming up here in the next half hour of WKYT News, we'll start walking you through those steps that you can take to make sure that your information doesn't get scammed by a skimmer. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you so much. Now, we've learned overnight that an arrest has been made for a shooting in Anderson County. Police say Hugh Robinson is charged with attempted murder after he shot another man during a fight. All this happened about 9:30 last night on Versailles Road. Police say the victim was rushed to UK Hospital. We don't have his condition available to us this morning.
The cause of a deadly crash in Boyle County is under investigation this morning. Deputies say two cars crashed on Godby Lane off Kentucky 52. The coroner tells us one person died. Several others were injured. We put in calls with police overnight. We have not heard back. Continue to check WKYT.com for updates. And new on WKYT this morning, Lexington police are looking for a gunman behind an overnight gas station robbery. Police say a man with a T-shirt over his head held up the clerk at the Thorntons on Winchester Road near Loudon Avenue. He got away with cash. No one was hurt.
Friends and family gathered in Jessamine County to remember 5 people who were killed in a crash 2 years ago. The Hibbard family's car crashed into a van on US 27 on a horrific night, June 26, 2014. All 5 members of the family died in the wreck. Last night, those who knew the Hibbards held a vigil to honor their lives.
I think it's still hard to believe that they're gone. Like, I'll think I see them somewhere and it's not them.
Friends and family gathered at the crash site following the vigil. Angelia Poe of Virginia also died in that crash.
State police plan to charge a woman with several charges, including murder, following a deadly shooting in Breathitt County. Troopers were first notified after 2 gunshot victims wound up at the hospital over the weekend. One of the victims said his mother shot them. When troopers went to the mom's home on Cook Fork Road, they found Henry Hurt dead and his wife Sandra Hurt unresponsive. They think Sandra shot her husband, her son, and another woman. The shooting is under investigation.
Louisville police say no arrests have been made in Saturday's triple homicide there. Police found 3 men dead in a home in the city's Duval neighborhood. Investigators are not releasing details about how they died, but they do suspect foul play.
Well, firefighters are crediting smoke alarms for helping a Lexington family get out of their home safely. The fire started in the attic of the home on North Broadway. Crews do not know what caused the fire, but they were able to keep it contained to the attic. The home is not a total loss, so that's good news for them.
Absolutely. Secretary of State John Kerry is traveling to Brussels and London today after Britain's vote to leave the European Union and all that has apparently set off.
Real shakeup. The State Department says he'll first meet EU officials in Brussels, then fly to London to talk with British Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond. They'll discuss both the Brexit and other global issues, including ISIS. The Brexit vote created shockwaves really around the world and sent stock markets into a nosedive. More than 3 million Brits have already signed a petition calling for a new referendum. Some officials in Scotland and Northern Ireland, where voters prefer sticking with the EU, are calling for their referendums on staying in the UK. Today, Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin will sign a bill creating the state's first legislative automotive caucus. The team of lawmakers will work with the state's auto manufacturers and suppliers on key issues like workforce development. Kentucky is the third largest producer of light vehicles in the country. Governor Bevin will sign the bill at 10 o'clock this morning in Frankfort.
There is a special election set for tomorrow in Williamsburg to consider expanded alcohol sales. Back in 2012, the city voted to allow alcohol sales in restaurants only, and that measure passed by just 14 votes. Tomorrow, voters have the opportunity to decide whether or not to allow alcohol sales in other stores. The polls will be open in Williamsburg in southeastern Kentucky from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. tomorrow. Well, the 4th of July is just about upon us. Lexington firefighters are already warning people about fireworks safety.
It's illegal, of course, to shoot those fireworks off within the city limits, but if you shoot them off someplace else, it's important to keep some safety tips in mind because nobody shoots off fireworks, right? Even when it's not allowed. Mike Byer is joining us live this morning on how we can all stay safe this holiday weekend.
Good morning, Rebecca. The Lexington Fire Department is stressing the importance of fireworks safety with the 4th of July approaching very quickly. It's 1 week from today. It's hard to believe. Now, Captain Chris Bartley says every year the fire department responds to some kind of firework-related incident. Even though shooting them in the city is illegal, Kentucky laws also prohibit fireworks from being used within 200 feet of a structure. If you are going to shoot off fireworks, the fire department recommends you follow these safety tips.
A wide open space, shoot them off there. Don't hold them in your hands. And have an extinguisher or a bucket of water or even sand available nearby just in case it does cause a fire.
Now, Captain Bartley says the best way to stay safe is to simply catch a firework display show like the one that will be shot off from the Arboretum and the one that will fill up the sky over Commonwealth Stadium next Monday at 9 o'clock. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Jen Caldwell.
It's a sticky morning to be out there and doing a whole lot of anything. And once we get into the afternoon and evening, the humidity will increase quite a bit along with the heat. However, some showers and storms will sweep through as well. And once they clear out of here, we are talking about a very different air mass. Some dry, comfortable stuff coming our way. Right now, running in the low to mid 70s in most cases out there. It's 71 in Lexington, 72 down the road into Richmond, and you've got 68 down in Middlesboro. So a few spots a little bit cooler. It's going to be a fantastic day for folks wanting to head out to the pool, though, as we likely max out around 88 degrees. Now, the only catch is we do have a chance of showers and storms, but here's the deal. It's not a washout. It's not a constant presence out there today. In some areas, won't see any rain at all. It's going to be one of those type setups that we encounter for you on this Monday. So get out there and enjoy in between those rain chances. What we have, though, showing up just to the north, you can see a little more organization coming out of these showers. What's happening is that frontal boundary is continuing to press in, and it increases the coverage of rain. But that does not mean it's going to be a washout for any one of us today. So front number one here will sweep through. You've got another front up the road that will also dive in. And essentially what that does is it just cleans the atmosphere up even more for us and makes it very comfortable toward the middle of the week. Here's the hour-by-hour run with that front dropping in. You see the rain out there. Again, not impressive by any means. You might have some heavier rain associated with one of these showers or thunderstorms, but that's really about it. Front will continue to kind of sweep through the area, and then the skies will clear as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday. Really good-looking stuff coming your way with those lower humidity levels. It'll be very comfortable. So comfortable. Check our 7-day forecast. Daytime highs by Wednesday around 79 degrees, 81 on Thursday. That all comes before we get into a little bit of a mess that's going to set up here with showers and thunderstorms toward the end of the week there and into the weekend, maybe round after round of thunderstorms will sweep back into town. But let me tell you what, after we get past today, we've got a good little run there where it's out dry and comfortable. You don't usually put those words together when you're talking about leading into July. So this is fantastic stuff.
So enjoy it while it lasts. That's the word, right?
Yeah, always. Yes.
Okay, we will. It was brutal over the weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, if you didn't get the chance, go look at Bill's Facebook page. You get to see his sweaty selfie.
Nice and sweaty.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how hot it
Still
was.
got to exercise. Okay.
Of course. Just don't overdo it.
Yeah, you got it. Tell myself that. 6:10 now on WKYT this morning.
Trying to make us look bad, Bill. Thanks a lot. Each morning we bring you weather and traffic. Here's Officer Don, I believe we have him.
Another workout king. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, gang. No wrecks right now. We just had a look at the circle and the interstate. Also inbound Nicholasville Road coming in from Jessamine County, and really no major delays. Things are pretty quiet out there. Let's get a look at overall traffic flow this morning. As you can see, we are good to go around the city, even through our construction zones. Drive times this morning with no wrecks should be a decent ride in coming in from Jessamine County. Same deal coming in from Paris on Paris Pike. Only dealing with a few minutes there. About 23 to from Winchester is 23 minutes as well. Live look at Newtown Pike and I-75. That's courtesy of the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government's traffic cams, where it's a smooth ride in. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, as always, thank you so much, Don. Appreciate it. And of course, Don and Deanne are on 98.1 The Bull this morning. You can listen in if you're on the road. Good to have you along. 6:11 right now.
With dozens of counties in West Virginia still recovering from devastating flooding, many must brace themselves for more rain this morning. We'll have more on the mountain state that is flooded when we return. Welcome back. It's 6:15 on your early Monday morning. Well, this morning, 22 counties in West Virginia are under a flash flood watch. This is just as last week's flooding waters start to recede.
It could happen again. The historic storm dropped up to 10 inches of rain in less than 12 hours. Hannah Daniels has the latest.
West Virginians are bracing for more rain today while still recovering from devastating floods. The National Weather Service is calling last week's storm a 1-in-1,000-year event. At least 24 people were killed, including Diana Sanders' husband of 37 years.
Why didn't you try to get out?
All that's left of their home is the front steps. The raging Jackson Creek washed the house away with her husband inside.
I swore I seen him walking last night in the last clothes I seen him in. I swore, I said, you come back to me. Wishful thinking.
Residents knew the rain was coming, but never imagined this. In the town of Raynell, high water swept into every single building. Search teams continued door-to-door checks over the weekend looking for survivors. People in the small town of Clendenin are cleaning up. The town was underwater, entire neighborhoods wiped out.
This side of the house is destroyed. The full-size basement of the house is all destroyed. My son, everything he owned, he has nothing, not a pair of shoes.
Communities from across the storm-battered state are coming together, bringing water, food, and clothes for those left with nothing. Hannah Daniels, CBS News.
About 18,000 homes and businesses remained without power as of late yesterday. Singapore Airlines said no passengers were injured after a jetliner's engine caught fire this morning. The flight was heading to Milan when the plane's engine warning light came on. The plane turned around to make an emergency landing, and moments after touching down, the right engine caught fire. Firefighters rushed out onto the runway to put out the fire. Authorities say all 222 passengers and 19 crew members made it off safely, and they have been transferred on to later flights.
Authorities say 10 people are in the hospital this morning after violence broke out at a rally near California's state capitol. Firefighters say at least 5 of the victims suffered stab wounds. The fight started just before a rally for the white nationalist group, the Traditionalist Worker Party. Police say some 400 counter-protesters tried to prevent the rally, and that led to fighting. So far, police have not made any arrests. Prayers for former University of Tennessee basketball coach Pat Summitt continue this morning. Former players and friends flocking to Knoxville over concerns about her health. Summitt's family released a statement yesterday saying the past few days have been difficult as her early onset dementia, Alzheimer's type, progresses. Fans are reflecting on the coach's 38-year career legacy, which includes more than 1,000 victories, 8 national championships, and an Olympic gold medal.
Our thoughts and prayers certainly with her family this morning. Well, starting on July 1st, the nation's largest health insurer is cutting the number of options available for insulin pumps for diabetics. Patients on many United Health Group plans will be restricted to only 3 choices instead of 9. The move comes in an attempt to cut costs and improve care. The change is angering some patients who say choice is important. Also, a record 43 million Americans are expected to travel this 4th of July weekend. AAA says most of them will be driving. Lower gasoline prices, stronger consumer confidence, and a generally healthy domestic economy have led more families to take trips this summer. AAA is estimating that U.S. drivers have saved a total of about $20 billion on gasoline so far this year compared to the same period last year. Your next Uber ride won't involve any guessing. Uber is rolling out upfront fares for Uber X rides. Instead of providing an estimate of your fare, you'll get the exact price before requesting the ride. Uber Pool has already utilized this feature. Pool rides make up 20% of all rides. The change might make surge pricing more difficult to understand. Instead of showing the multiplier or lightning bolt, it will just show the higher fare. Uber will also be rolling out the ability to schedule rides in advance. And so some changes coming to Uber.
Sounds like it. Thank you, Bill. WKYT This Morning is just getting started. A neighborhood prowler was caught on camera. While the suspect isn't necessarily your typical thief.
We're tracking some showers and thunderstorms out there today, along with the heat and humidity. But it's going to take a break for a few days. We'll track that coming up.
Kentucky mornings start here. You're watching WKYT This Morning.
Good morning again. Welcome back in. 623. About 71 degrees. Real pleasant out there this morning.
A little bit of a departure from how it was yesterday, right?
You got that right.
It was hot.
Yeah, and humid.
Well, in the news, an arrest has been made following a shooting in Anderson County.
And that's what's trending at this hour. Hugh Robinson faces attempted murder charges after police say he shot another man during a fight. The victim has been rushed to UK hospital. His condition unknown to us right now. Robinson is being held at the Shelby County Detention Center. Lexington police still searching for the gunman behind an overnight gas station robbery. Police say a man held up the Thorntons on Winchester Road near Loudon Avenue about 1:30 this morning. He did get away with some cash. And we anticipate those nice changes. A little rain today, and then that makes way for better things. Jim?
Some really nice stuff will come our way once the showers and storms work their way through the area today. Now, out ahead of this front, it's going to be tough again today. We likely end up in the upper 80s, higher levels of humidity. Just a very uncomfortable day. It's a little sticky out there this morning, but not terrible yet. Low 70s, mid 70s have been showing up all across the area, but as we progress through the day with this frontal boundary sweeping in, showers and storms increase, and then we watch that humidity just dive over the next few days. We get back to what you could consider a pleasant level. Guys, that's usually not what you would get around this time of year going into the first part of July, but pleasant weather as far as the muggy conditions are concerned, because they aren't going to be any. It's going to be fantastic.
Take it while it lasts, right? Thank you, Jim. It's no secret that pet lovers can sometimes do the unthinkable, and this Missouri woman is living proof after she gave her one-eyed pet goldfish an extreme makeover.
I'm intrigued. One-eyed pet goldfish. Julie Morgan loves her fish, especially one in particular named Kiwi. Recently, Kiwi had been getting picked on by others in a tank for being half blind. It got so bad, Morgan says she had to eventually remove poor Kiwi. With no other options, the vet decided to remove Kiwi's eye entirely and replace it with, get this, a prosthetic one.
It's going to be the best chance for him to be able to lead a normal life in his tank.
A lot of people probably would say, yes, put him down. Go ahead, it's just a fish. Well, my opinion is nothing is just a something. And if I could give him quality of life, why not?
If they thought I was a crazy fish lady for doing all this for one fish, that's okay.
All right.
That is love and dedication right there, isn't it? Kiwi surgery was a success. He's now back in the tank with his fellow fish who no longer pick on him.
All right.
Good for Kiwi. Very lucky little fish,
yeah,
right?
he certainly is. He has an owner who certainly loves him.
This next story you have to see to believe.
Watch this bear nosing through a homeowner's garbage in Washington. He picks up a bag and carries it off on two legs just like a human. Look at that. Neighbors first became suspicious of the trash invader after many started waking up to trash scattered all throughout the neighborhood. So one night a couple stayed up late and they captured the little grisly scene on camera. There you go.
Well, I'm glad it all worked out for that little bear. You know, we laugh, but it is a serious issue
Well,
in,
it is.
you know, a lot of areas. But that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
I mean, you gotta admit.
At least the neighborhood has some answers now, right? Good to have you with us this morning, 6:26, Monday morning on WKYT.
Police are still searching for a hit-and-run driver who killed a little boy in Pulaski County. We're on the vigil for him tonight at 6:30.
Tomorrow's Mega Millions jackpot is $390 million, and Wednesday's Powerball jackpot is $222 million. Stay with us for our top stories coming up on WKYT.